These are the top 12 fantasy books that you should be reading going into 2026. If you are newer to fantasy, don't really know where to start, or maybe you're a pro at fantasy and just want a list of maybe the best books to read going into 2026, this is your guide. Some of these books, actually a lot of these books, were 6-star infinity reads for me, 5-star series for me. A lot of them have sequels that are coming out in 2026. And so if you haven't read any of these yet, I think it's a great time just to hop on. Some of them are really popular, some of them are not so popular, some are brand new releases, but I've compiled a list that I think anybody looking to dive into fantasy romance, romantasy, they will just love. It looks like we have a little visitor today. Oh, she's so mad that I just woke her up. Sorry, baby. Okay, go back to sleep now. I also tried to make this a top 10, but I kept on adding more books. I'm like, oh no, this book's so good, I have to add it too. So we made it a top 12, and even a top 12 was a very hard decision for me. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with these books. Number 1, and a 5-star read for me, and actually an unexpected 5-star read because I only saw one other person talk about this book, so I went in completely blind, and I thought it was a fun vibes read. You don't need to use a lot of your brain to focus on it. It's very entertaining. If you like books like Zodiac Academy, you will love Blood and Betrayals by Jeanette Rose and Alex Roon. It is at a dark academia setting. There's vampires, fae, angels. She is also getting stalked, I guess, by a secret person that we don't know who it is. He is a golden retriever. She is the broody female main character, which is a nice little fun twist. This book is long, but I also never wanted to put it down, and it kept me engaged for the entire time. It does have a sequel coming out in 2026. I don't know the exact date. I'll put it up here. It is available on Kindle Unlimited, and it's just a fun, good time read. Shield of Saros by Miss Devaney Perry was another book that blew me out of the water. I had read a couple other Devaney Perry's books, but this was her intro into Romantasy, and it did not disappoint. I was lucky enough to be one of the first readers of this book, and I did get an advanced copy. And let me tell you, when I started this book, I literally couldn't put it down. It had a nice fresh take, I felt, when I was reading it, because in that time I was reading a lot of the books that just felt like copy and paste. This one has an arranged marriage. It had very unique worlds. There's like treehouse setting in one of them. There is lots of monsters, which I thought was really fun, and I just thoroughly enjoyed this book. Warning, though, the cliffhanger is torturous, and there's going to be twists that you did not see coming. The sequel also comes out in 2026. I don't know how many books are going to be in this one. I think it's a trilogy, however, I'm not sure. But I'm excited to get back into this world to understand that freaking cliffhanger that this book was left on. This author was a newer one for me this year, A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly by Sophia St. Germain. And I love this book. If you like Throne of Glass, this is a book I'll feel like you would really like. It's our main character is definitely giving Aelin vibes. I did listen to this book on audio, and it is a single narration, but the audio was also incredible. This has Bloodos, a broody bodyguard. There is another kind of male main character thrown into the mix there. I can tell it's going to be a slow burn, and I'm not sure which way this book is going to end up, meaning I don't know who our FMC is going to end up with yet, which I love books like that. I have not finished the series, but I believe they're all out. So this might be a completed series now. I still need to finish it, but since it is finished, you should definitely go in and read the series now. On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin was also just such a fun read for me. This one was so underhyped. I feel like if you like books with vampires, or MMC is giving very much like Draco Malfoy. I'm talking like a blonde vampire. There is possible love triangle situation going on. The first book is good. The second book is literally even better, and the ending of the second book is giving A Court of Mist and Fury vibes with so much information dumped into the ending, but everything comes together. A lot of people say that the writing is chunky and juvenile in this book. I didn't notice that, and it didn't bother me. I still very much vibed with this book. There is some spice, there is dragon riders, and it's just so fun. I know this is an interconnected series to another one of the author's works that I haven't read yet, but literally the beginning of this book just jumps off. She literally wakes up in another world on a pile of corpses, and a vampire princess, I'll take her, and then she's forced to enroll into this academy with all these new people that she's never met. She doesn't even know what world she's in, and it's just a good time read. Direbound by Sable Sorensen. This is a book that these last pages no one could take this book out of my hands. But I remember my husband actually coming in and I was reading this in bed and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I have to finish reading this book. It is so freaking good." If you like books like Fourth Wing, you will like this. It's got similar elements to Fourth Wing and Dark Academia, and you are bonded to dire wolves instead of dragons, and there is that mind-to-mind speak, which I always love. Our dire wolf in this book is snarky with an attitude. This book, though, had so many twists and turns that I did not see coming. I am so excited for this sequel, and it is coming out in 2026. I started the series in 2025, and I will be finishing it in 2026. I have not finished the last 2 books. I have read the first 3. It is a completed series, though. But Guild by Raven Kennedy, I think it's a book that gets a lot of hype and also deserves a lot of hype. A lot of people don't really like the first book in the series, and I can understand why. However, I loved it. It is on the darker side, so if you're not into dark fantasy books, then do not read this one. But I will say the audio of this book is incredible. It is by far one of the best audios I have ever heard. And so if you didn't really like it when you were reading it, then I beg you to pick up the audio and try it that way. This is also a dark King Midas retelling. I don't want to give too much away, but that's kind of the premise of the book. And it is a slow burn. The MMCs in this book is one of my favorite MMCs of literally all time, especially if you like books when the male main character has a dirty mouth. Sins of Silas is the second book in the Lies of Lena series, the Octatian Chronicles. This book is a 6-star infinity read for me. God tier masterpiece, just like I'm so utterly obsessed. And it's like a funny story because I guess it's not really that funny, but I read The Lies of Lena earlier in the year in 2025 and I liked it. I rated it 4 stars, but I wasn't obsessed with it. And so I didn't pick up the series right away. The next book, even though it was out, I was just kind of like, I'll come back to it. But something was off in that book for me, and I think it's because in the first book, it's young love, and then there's a time jump about 5 years later, and a lot of stuff happens in between that time jump. And I liked the young love part, but I wasn't super invested in it. And then it's almost reads like a novella, but then the more you get into it and the more you read the story, the more like the way she did it just makes so much sense. And now I am just completely obsessed. This is a dark series with mages, humans. It's just very emotional. We have a lot of depth with the characters. Every character has a background story and you learn about that. So if you like books that are very character driven with dark elements, then there's honestly no reason why you wouldn't like this series. It is so good. It's unfinished, though. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. I think the author said it's slated to be like 6 or 7 book series. So we are going to have to wait for a while for that next book to come out. But overall, it's just great. I actually just finished The Poison Daughter literally a few days before filming this video, and I have not quit thinking about it. It is a standalone, and I think going into 2026, I am heavy on the standalones. Crave a New World. Sometimes I have commitment issues. I don't want to commit to a whole series, so standalones are where it's at. And this one did not disappoint. This is the type of book that when you finish it, you're going to want to go back and reread it immediately to pick up to see everything that you might have missed, to pick up on all those Easter eggs that the author put in here. There is a very unique magic system in here. Our female main character has poison that links from her lips and she can kill people with it. And then all of her siblings have different types of magic as well. She does end up in an arranged political marriage. There's a rebellion going on. If you like all those things, this is a book that you will just eat up. And when I tell you the twists in this book, you will not guess them. You will not. Like, one of them literally had my jaw on the floor. I was shocked that I did not figure that twist out. And that's why I wanted to go back and reread it to be like, how did I miss this? So good. So easy to read and understand. Highly recommend. This is a book, The Wolf King by Lauren Palpern, that I will be immediately rereading in 2026. The 3rd book in the series, and I think the final book in the series, comes out this year. And I read this book early on in 2025 and I was obsessed. However, I didn't finish the series because when I finished Wolf King, the next book wasn't out yet, and then so much time passed that I need to do a quick reread of this. But if you like books with wolf shifters, if you like books with a well done love triangle, this is it. Our female main character is a princess and she gets abducted from her castle by this very handsome, nice wolf shifter, and he takes her to her kingdom, to his castle. and things are happening. There's lots of things that are unfolding, some twists and turns that are happening, and I loved it. If you're into books like Outlander, think Gottishman wearing kilts, just go to read it. The Will of the Many was the first epic fantasy that I read, and it did not disappoint, and I was so intimidated by this book. It's thick, it's long, there's no romance, so that's usually not how my vibe goes, but everyone was telling me to read this book, pick it up, and there was a lot more hype around this book I think this year because The Strength of the Few came out towards the end of 2025, and so I read this book and I was hooked. Our male main character, Vis, it's told in first person, and I just think it was so interesting being in this character's head. You really understand the decisions that he makes, why he makes them, just the whole plot. I thought the whole book was honestly just so clever, and I will definitely be continuing on with this series. But if this book has been on your TBR for a while, or you were also intimidated like me, I think this is your sign to go ahead and give it a shot. It is dark academia. I will say that part of it was learning another language, but it was also very easy to pick up just because there's a lot of new words and things here, but once you get it down, you're down and you are locked. Dystopian is making its comeback in 2026, and the first book you need to read in 2026 is Daggermouth. This book is honestly one of the best books I have ever read. It was in my top 3 for 2025. It is a dark, heavy on the dark, dystopian romance with twists, turns, tension, betrayal, just literally everything. You will not be able to put this book down once you start it, so that is your warning. Do not start it at 10 p.m. at night because you'll be up until 2 in the morning trying to finish this book. The tension in here literally radiates off the page. I highlighted so many things because some of the quotes in here are just so freaking good. So good. Our FMC is an assassin. Our MMC, he is the son of the leader of the kingdom who is just like a piece of crap, basically. Just absolutely loved it. And the last book I have for you is an actual completed 4-book series, and it is the Legacy series by Melissa Roweridge. I read this book at the beginning of 2025. I have not quit thinking about it. I love this book. This might have been one of the first books that I read that got me into dark fantasy, and now it's basically what I read the most of. So well done. I felt like this book had a different take on Fae because the Fae are used as power sources for the gods in this book, for the descendants or the gods. And so they get bonded to them unwillingly. And so yes, heavy on the dark themes here. So well done. Interconnected worlds, portals, it just lots of lore and world building. And it's also one of those books where you're going to like love to hate every single character, and you're going to come back and be like, Brittany, I hate this book. These characters are insufferable. And that's literally the point. But I'm telling you, everything comes together at the end, and it is worth this wild ride. Comment below, let me know if you're adding any of these books to your TBRs, which ones maybe caught your eyes. If you haven't heard of any of these books, I'm so curious to know how people are starting out their 2026 and what books they're reading. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. Please follow, please like, please comment, please share. It would honestly mean the world to me, and literally thank you so much.